Hi, Friday afternoon, another video. This afternoon, as promised Friday, I said that I would start introducing you to some of our guides around the world. So this week we're going to start with Vikas in India. I first met Vikas back in January 2013 when I travelled to India for the very first time. On that trip, it was a recce trip, so I wasn't taking clients, but I did take junior clients, which were my then 12-year-old son and 9-year-old daughter, and a friend of mine, Simone, carrying along with her 10-year-old daughter. So we were two women traveling with 3 children around India. And thanks to Ecno Travels in India, we landed well and truly on our feet when we were introduced to Vikas as our guide.
So Vikas was the best guide to be travelling through India. He taught us so much about the people, the places, the history, the culture, the food, and both adults and kids alike had the best time. Obviously visiting such iconic places as the Taj Mahal, but we also travelled all the way through Rajasthan, learning about the history, which is something I knew very, very little about. The education that the kids received just by travelling through was just amazing. We finished up in the western side of the country, almost on the Pakistan border, where we headed out into the Thar Desert for a safari before heading back to Delhi on the train and spending a couple of nights in Delhi. Anyway, enough about my trip. Let me introduce you to Vikas.
Namaste, Suzanne. Nice to see you.
Okay.
How are you?
I'm good. It's 2:45 in the afternoon here. What time is it with you?
It's 10:15 here in the morning.
10 in the morning. Okay, so you're a few hours behind.
Yes.
Oh, that's all good.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. So the idea of this interview, Vikas, you're the first tour guide that I'm actually interviewing. So you're the first cab off the rank. So good for you for putting your hand up and offering to do this. I guess the first question I have, which most people will be interested in, is can you tell us a little bit about yourself, like where you grew up, your family, and where you're at now?
Let me tell you a little bit about me. Mm-hmm. So my name is Vikas Kumar, and I come from a small little village in India near Dharamshala, a village called Nadi. And it's Dharamshala is a hill station of India. Like we have few hill stations made by British for their young officers to spend holidays. So Dharamshala was one of the small hill station the British Raj government choose for the East India Company officers. So Dharamshala is a beautiful, like it's geographically it's like a mountain and foothills. So it's above foothills and below mountains. So it's a combination of both. So it's beautiful with the long cedar pine trees, lush green valleys, and we say geography is very beautiful. And the feather on the hat of Dharamshala, His Holiness Dalai Lama lives here. So it makes more people. It's kind of a holy seat of Dalai Lama here. So it's spiritual value, also. And if I talk about me, I was born and brought up in Dharamshala, and I belong to a small community, the real natives of Dharamshala, of this valley. What we call this valley called Kangra Valley, and the mountain range called Dhauladhar mountain range. So that's the beginning of Himalaya. The very first range of Himalaya. The highest peaks are almost 5,000 meters here.
Wow.
So my ancestors were the nomads here. We call them semi-nomads. Mm-hmm. The females lives in one village, and all the male will go 6 months up in the mountains with their sheep, and 6 months down to the plains. In the winter, they go on down to the plains of Punjab, and the 6 months in summer they go up to all the way to the Tibet border, to the Tibet plateau with the sheep, the flocks. They travel all the year was working.
So where did you learn your English? So you just went to local schools in Dharamshala?
Yeah, I went to local school near my village. It's like 6 kilometers from my school, my village. So it was government school. So we only have one school that time for whole area. So I learned this from mostly from tourists, speaking
From
with them because
tourists.
I
Wow.
very beginning. Yeah, very beginning I just start working with a mostly Western tourists, the tractors.
Yeah.
So that's how I learned. Yeah,
Ah, okay.
and some of them
Cool.
some of them I learned from BBC, small radio,
Oh yeah.
listening to BBC.
Good old
That's how I
BBC. Yep.
started. Yeah, yeah.
Oh, that's
So
good. So you started
yeah,
off as a Sherpa then, or a porter for the trekkers, carrying backpacks
yes,
and camping gear and stuff like that.
yes,
And now a lot of your guiding that you do you do all sorts actually, I think, don't you? You do
yes, yeah,
cultural tours, you do photography tours, pilgrimage tours.
yes, yeah,
So you get to travel all over India now, not just the mountains around Dharamsala.
yeah. In in 2012, I joined Sharon from Acno Travels,
Hmm.
Sharon's company, and then she given me a opportunity to explore all over India. That was my interest. So
Yeah.
that was my start for my next level. I was
Ah, so
on
you were
till
very
then I
new
was only
because I met you in January 2013. So you were
yeah,
very new in your
yeah,
career. Oh,
yeah.
your
And actually, I want to mention especially that was my like one of my memorable tour because that was the first time I went to see the desert, the
yeah,
sand, and
yeah,
camel.
yeah.
So playing with your kids, that's one of my highlights of my tours.
Oh, that's good.
So
That's good.
yeah, even I feel like a child that time. I was playing with them in the sand dunes. So
Yeah,
it
that's
was my
right.
first time. So I was playing. Yeah, yeah.
That's good. That's okay. So, what's something that a lot of people are surprised?
Surprised with India. The first things, anybody comes involved, they have cultural shock. They think, how the roads are working, how many cars and roads, everything's going everywhere. Nothing's no system, nothing, but still working.
Yeah,
And and the second thing is they see on the roads, especially when they see the people are so patient here, nobody fighting each other, no road rage. But if you plan well, but India is a very good, beautiful country, and it's about experience. If you plan well, think ahead, then everything's all right.
yeah,
Plan ahead. So
yeah,
one question about as India still most of Indians live with the joint families, and the most of marriages are arranged marriages. So most of questions comes around that. The arranged marriages, the caste system,
hmm,
and the joint families. These are
okay,
the questions. Yeah, a little about religion because India is all about religion and culture,
yeah,
multi-religion, all sorts of religion. We have like all the religion of the world exist in India and bigger number.
yeah. You're obviously of a religion, but there are many, as you said,
Yeah,
many religions that you've had to learn, I
yeah,
guess, over the years.
yeah. And also, in India, is still, well, I don't know. Most of people have this different like perception over India, but still, India live with together. All the religion stay together. They share things. Like where I live, we don't have like many like mostly people are Hindu here in the mountain, but we do have a Tibetan community. They are Buddhist, and we have some Muslim people who lives here, and we have Sikh community, big Sikh community.
Hmm.
So from the beginning, from the birth, like from the beginning from school, we go each other's homes, celebrate each other's festivals, and they practice. So automatically we learn this. We don't have to go specially to learn. We
Yep.
especially go to Sikh temples and go because they have special food. So being a child, we always go to the one festival to another festival. We get another good. Uh,
Did well.
if you live in India, you automatically learn everything because
Yeah.
we live with each other.
No, that's good. That's good. The world can learn a lot about that. Different
Yeah, yeah,
religions, beliefs, systems living
yeah,
in harmony. Yeah.
yeah.
So what would you say you enjoy most about your work as a tour guide?
Taking people, especially I told you, taking speakers to the village walks
Uh-huh.
and showing the like untouched places that off beaten paths. So
Yeah.
we always try to work in our office. We try to work out these people. So I have created a big long list of the local people which are not professionals.
Yeah.
They are could be in like let's talk about like we say Jodhpur. We have Jodhpur, blue city, and people go and most people go to blue city, take photographs and come back. But I have some people or like they're not professional, they work somewhere else, and blue city, they live in blue city, old houses.
Hmm.
So there's some old guys, some I have made friendship with them. They are my friends now. So I take people their homes to just have a tea.
That's nice.
So we go direct to into the homes and go tea.
Is an important part of tourism is yes, like you say, it's nice to look at the big ticket items, the Taj Mahal or the the palaces, but it's the personal touch, it's the meeting of people that makes it more meaningful. Yeah.
And there is always a language of universe. People can communicate whether you don't speak English or you speak English. Like recently I took someone to my family, my in-laws family, to just go have a lunch there. So the guy, he was from Australia, and he was trying to talk to my father-in-law, but he don't speak English. But then there's another language between India and Australia and England, especially cricket speaking cricket country. They have a cricket language. So my father-in-law was trying to ask him, where you from? He's telling Brisbane or something. He don't know where Brisbane is. But then he told the stadium name, Braga, or what's his name? And then he knows, where it is.
He knew the game.
So he told stadium's name. He knows exactly where is that in Australia and who's there.
Yeah.
So they speak cricket language with each other.
All right. So do you have, I think this might be my last question, unless you want anything else to tell me, do you have a favorite part of India or a favorite area that you take travelers to?
My favorite a favorite part is it's in the mountain. I like to go trekking. So that's one of my favorite trek I recently done in last August. So I took a big group of 14 people trekkers.
Oh wow, that's great. I haven't actually been trekking in India yet, so that's certainly something on my bucket list.
So tell me, what's life like in India for you now, in early May 2020?
Yeah, well, as you know, this virus has affected everyone in the world. Not a single person spared out of that. But being a tourism professional here, because this time of the year, this time in May, it's start of holidays in summer holidays in India. So this area usually stay packed with the Indian tourists.
Okay.
Lots of tourists here, and it's a main tourist season for local people here.
Mm-hmm.
Only people who depend, because most of people depend in tourism here. So tourism is totally gone, and everything's quiet here. But the good thing with living in villages, we live in communities.
Yeah.
So if one or two families affected very badly, people help each other.
Yeah.
So that's a good thing.
Yeah.
So I want to stay at home, be safe, and soon we start traveling.
Yeah.
Everything's going to be all right here. So,
very good advice. All right, Vikas. Well, it's been lovely speaking to you, and we'll be in touch again soon.
Yeah.
Okay.
Nice to talk to you again.
All
so
right.
maybe talk to you again soon.
Okay.
Bye bye. Namaste.
Bye. Namaste.